The poem advocates for embracing one's roots and celebrating local language as an important aspect of identity.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
A little louder.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? All right, so my name is Paris Williams from Warner Heights Primary School, and Louise Bennett has made such a big impact on Jamaica as a poet, songwriter, and etc.
Good morning, everyone. I am Wahila McLean. I'm representing Mona Heights Primary School. Louise Bennett was born September 7, 1999, and she has brings so many joy to so many people. And up to this day, we still show our appreciation to her big and wonderful impact on Jamaica's culture. And she died in Toronto, in Canada, July 6, 2006. And we are so grateful that she did what she did.
Hi, my name is Amari Holding, and I'm from the Louise Bennett-Coverley Primary. So, Louise Bennett was born on September 7, 1919. She was a Jamaica poet and active from Kingston, Jamaica. Louise Bennett remains a household name in Jamaica, a living legend, and a culture icon. She received her education from the Calabar Elementary School, St. Simon's College, Excelsior College, Friends College, Highgate.
Can you say what you like about Miss Lou? I'm putting you on the spot, but I know that you can just say that, all right? No? Yes. He's nervous. Give them a hand. All right, so now we move on to a workshop that's going to be conducted by this wonderful, and I want to say, one of the things that I have been working to do with my colleagues who have joined me on this venture for the Louise Bennett-Coverley Festival is to grow the festival, grow the team, and to make sure that Miss Lou is not just celebrated in Jamaica and Florida. They've had a festival for Miss Lou for the last 10 years, so we're behind, but we will catch up. And you know, we're establishing patron, and I'm so grateful to Tania Hernandez, who has agreed to be the patron for Miss Lou from Canada, and she also offers a scholarship for students. And I will turn it over to her, and she will tell you a little bit about herself, and then she will conduct her workshop.
What a guan, everybody. Greetings. You there? Yeah, man. Cool. Now, let me tell you something, man. First of all, I am Tania Hernandez. When I'm on stage, I'm Miss Tanya Lou. I done the nice bandana dress to go around the world internationally to tell people about our wonderful culture and to see what we made of, because we're little but we're taller. Not true? Yeah. Yes. So you, students, you are the present hope and future leaders. You are the present change makers and the future champions who are going to come out with all your various talents, whether it's art, science, okay? You're going to come out and you are going to make waves in society to make it a better place. Me, Tanya, me did grow up on Cassia Park Road in Kingston, went to New Providence Primary School, and Miss Andrea Hutchinson, one of my schoolmates, them that, right? And me go Providence, and then me pass my exam, and me go Holy Childhood. And believe me, I study hard, study really hard. And then I come to UWI Yeah, man, come to you and did a degree in language, literature, and social sciences. Wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And then I ended up doing a professional diploma in ACII, big word, for some insurance degree. And then I did do a marketing diploma. And then when I had my children, I'm married for 37 years, had my children, and one child learned differently. And I decided to go into special education. But while I was doing special education, I remember my roots. And my roots was when I used to be on ring ding, and Miss Sue would come out and say, ring ding. And what the children would say, ring ding. You want to say it? I would say, ring ding. You say? Ring ding. Yes. And then she go, concert time. And then she would sing, there's a concert here for you and me. There's a concert here today. Today is a concert, a celebration of Miss Lou. But more than a celebration, let me explain something to you. You see, when Miss Lou say clap yourself is a celebration of self, but clap yourself also is saying to us, while you are feeling good about yourself, you are to be a people who know your history, your culture, and your origin. Remember what our hero, remember Marcus Garvey? Yeah, man. He said people without their past, knowledge of their past history, culture, and origin are what? Like people without? See that now? The visionaries of tomorrow saying that. So Miss Lou, sometime you hear say she's queen of comedy, and then you hear queen mother of Jamaican culture. Miss Lou will take kin teeth, keep a heart bun, and we will laugh because some of the things in our history wasn't so good. But Miss Lou presented it in our works. So because not every kin teeth you're going to laugh about. You're going to say, all right, this part of our history, we have to learn from it. She was part of the national movement to ensure that we emancipate, one big word for free with mine, from things that are negative. Part of that national development for community togetherness. Ring Ding was a time where people come together. In the past, you had Dinky Mini, all the night, all the celebration. We dance, we sing, everything. Miss Lou transformed us through the power of her words. So I want you to know, it's not only that we must know our culture, but we must live it. Miss Lou was like a track and field athlete. You know why? Because she take our culture from the past, song, stories, riddles, everything, and then she pass it on with a baton to us so we can continue the relay like Usain Bolt, right? And we continue to pass on. Because let me tell you, when somebody asks you about our culture, it's not all about song and dance. Every piece of writing Miss Lou do, whether it's poetry or she did songs or dance or riddles, it comes from African retention, a big word from our forefathers back in Africa. She went in all 14 parishes, man, and she experienced the ways of our ancestors. So they might look for me, but me find out some of Nigerian, Ghanaian. My grandmother was a sweet dark black woman. My grandpa was light skinned, have a little bit of Irish. So me mix up like Heinz 57. But me's a born Jamaican, a daughter of the soil, I'm proud of it. So when you hear the riddle, like riddle me this, riddle me that, guess me this riddle and perhaps not. And you hear what is 7 trees? 7 trees. If 3 7s are 21, what are 7 trees? It's woodland because it says 7 trees. What did you have to do to figure out the riddle? What you had to do? Yes. So our forefathers, our African ancestors, right? And we also have European ancestors and Asian as well, but mostly we're talking today about the African ancestor because that's where mainly we got a lot of our ways of life. What they did was to teach us critical thinking. So nobody not turn we no fool. Because in the past, people used to try and marginalize us. Marginalize with language, the way they hear look. Me glad part of my hair straight and part of it curly and whatever. I just love it. Because it's me, Miss Lou teach we. She is one of the greatest national advocate we have, if not the greatest advocate to teach us how to love ourselves. But she teach us to think. Make sure we are thinking, critical thinkers. Make sure when you look at each other, first of all, I want you to clap yourself, then look at somebody and clap them. Look at somebody now and clap them. Clap yourself. Miss Lou is a symbol. I heard Professor Adisa say that. She is a symbol of ancestral wit and wisdom. But she wants our people to come together and to love who we are and present it to the world. You know, we saw a little bit in the world, right? But in terms of geography. But we big bout ya in everything, and you know that, right? So Miss Lou wants you to hold up yourself, right? And believe in yourself. And I want to say this before I move on to the next thing, because I experienced it. Miss Lou was a mentor, and I want to do the same. When I was growing up, I always thought, because my cousins and family were doctors and lawyers, that I had to be like that, but God didn't make me like that. And so I ended up having to do over my exams just because I was trying to do something that was against my nature. You can't ask a fish to walk like a, to be like a lobster, right? They're different. So one thing I want Miss Lou ask you, not only to love your culture as Jamaicans with African ancestry, but to love who you are as a person. Know who you are and what you need to do. Some of you will end up here at university. Some will be at college. Some of you will be bakers and seamstresses. Some of you are going to want to start a family. So I want you to remember that Miss Lou was a visionary, a change maker. She used her words to empower us. And so next few minutes, I'm going to show you a slide. Then you're going to look at that poem that you have in your folders. And we have some little activities to do. It's collaborative. So can I have my handsome Mr. Russell come up and show the slides? Quick slides. Don't you like picture? Who no love picture? You love it? Love look at picture, right? So let me see if you know about any of this, and then I will tell you something about some of the pictures. And while we are waiting, we have to understand that Miss Lou made more than a cultural impact. She was a national developer. She brought the community and youth together. She loved children. You know what she said about children? She said, teach the picnic the same thing that belong to them. Please pass it on. Don't be shy or be stush and say you can't speak patois. If you cannot speak patois, you are dissing our forefathers. They used patois to pop the colonialists so that we all could be free. So make we clap our ancestor right now. Wanna clap them? Yes. So the first, well, he's not here right now. So while we're waiting, to look at it, can we open our files? Yes, open the folder. I hope each of you have one. If not, you share. Now, we talk about being empowered. Now, I gave you at the back of Independence, if you look at that sheet with Independence at the back, you see an acrostic poem. And basically what it is, I took the letters of Miss Lou's name and I used the first letters to do a tribute to her. So today we're going to do some writing, right? So I'm going to read it for you. Making waves with our words, you see, inspiring the youth and setting them free. Sweet like sugar, poetry flow, sharing the struggles, the triumphs, the high and the low. Living legend, that's what she be. Oh, how she loved Jamaica and Jamaica loved she. Uplifting the culture and spreading the vibe. Miss Lou, you're our hero. Ay, ay, ay. Always love to say that. Yes, so we're going to continue. When Mr. Russell come back, we'll do the video. So I want you to think, with all you heard from these young leaders and performers, what you heard from Professor Disa, Dr. Hicklin, and what you're going to hear throughout the day, I want you to think how you can devise your own poem. As you know, poetry are just words of expression. Miss Lou used poetry to give meaning and to give power. There were some literary devices that Miss Lou used. So if you look on the sheet with literary devices, the power of words, Miss Lou, cultural hero. Let me just find that sheet. Yeah, sorry. The literary devices, yes. It looks like that. And then you have some lines. Let's do something. All right? So, when you're doing poetry, if you're doing literature, a lot of you are going into literature. Oh, sorry. A lot of you will be doing literature, and it doesn't matter to, even if you don't go on to do literature in school, you have to do language, like how you have to do maths, right? Maths, even though it's mathematics, but I say maths. So, every poem, oh, you're okay. So let me first talk about what you're going to see in the poem. Then we watch the quick slide here, and then we go back to this. So in every piece of writing, there's always a theme. You know what a theme is? It gives you the what? No? The main idea, right? The deeper meaning. And then you know the big word onomatopoeia? Like when you say bugu yaga, it sounds like what you said, don't it? Right? So you're going to see that in the poem that we're going to look at, right? Metaphor is just a figure of speech when you compare two things. If I say, your face is the sun, I am saying I'm comparing you to the sun. But if I say your face is like the sun, it's a simile. We're going to see that in our poem. Rhyme scheme. I don't know about rhyme. You know, Jack be nimble, Jack be quick, Jack jump over the candlestick. That's like a nursery rhyme. And you hear quick and stick rhyme. So you know about rhyme. Put up your hand if you know about rhyme. Rhyme give words rhythm and it give it power. Right? Miss Lou used the patois and everything. And the rhyme scheme to give it rhythm and to let us feel what she's feeling. Right? And ballad. A ballad is like a story. And Miss Lou always, when she writes, she always have like four lines in her stanza. It's called a big word, ballad quatrain. But if you notice, she would have like 4 lines, and then you will have a type of rhythm in there and rhyme. Personification. You know what a personification is? When you make dead things turn live. Like the tree walked. You ever hear a tree walk yet? Right? Must be a dopey, but anyway, it's personification. And then you have proverbs. Proverbs are philosophy, wise words that our ancestors gave us. So, Mr. Russell, can you, yes. There is the first of all, clap Mr. Russell for doing the slide. Thank you. Thank you. So a big word, embracing the legacy. We just hold on upon what she leave us, right? We're going to be those track and field athletes where we embrace, we hold on to a culture, all right? And through reading her work in Independence, you heard a lovely rendition of Independence by, yes, young lady, you did a good job. We are going to see how the power of those words, how it helped to elevate us, all right, and help us to feel good about ourselves. All right, so next slide. All right, you see that nice picture there? You know who that man is beside Miss Lou? Mas Ran, a great entertainer. They were in pantomime. They were great actors and actresses. So that one, let me tell you, my mother, Lorraine Burke, She was in the 1965 pantomime with Mas Ran and Miss Lou in a pantomime called Bread or Buck. And all my mother had to say was, "And a penny a week, partner." That was all she had, and she was proud. So I'm glad to know I had a member of my family be a part of it. Of course, my cousin Tessa and she go on big and she can't sing, and my whole heap of family in the arts. But my mother, a proud her, says she was a part of Miss, the ring ding. So that is the pantomime there. You see how Miss Lou look nice? She really made a big difference in our theater, because before theater was all about English, in the English language. And then she come and she just change it up and make it be our flavor, right? She stir it and she blend it to a flavor. She shake it and we move it to a beat. She wheel it and she turn it and she rock it and she tempo it. And Lord, the rhythm sweet. Part was sweet. Next one, where you think Miss Lou is? Where you think she's standing? I think that's where she is. And she have her famous little pose. I love her, you see? Look at her. Over 70 years of contribution, and she's still contributing even though she's in heaven. She's a living legend. The next picture, you know where that picture is? Yes, you know when that statue was put up? What year? Almost. Think it's 2018. Think it's in 2018. But you're close. I have it as 2018. I'll check it. But 2018, Basil Watson, he was the sculptor that put it up. And I had the honor of performing right next to that statue 2 years ago at the Louise Bennett Festival. Okay, so as you can see, bridging gap between tradition and modernity is just a big way of saying she took the past and brought it into the present. Like her poem, Dirty Tough and Independence. You can read that poem in the 1960s and read it now, and it talk about the hard life. It talk about the challenges of independence. All right? So she makes sure that whatever writing she gave us, we can use it in the present so we can be our best self. Next one. All right. This is about the power of language. Here's a nice artwork of smiling, beautiful people. Now, language is a tool for identity and expression. Now, yeah, it might not look like real people, but you have to understand when artists create their artistic expression, they do it differently. I love that because it shows joy. Just look. Look at the beauty of the lips, the teeth, just the joy. Do you see that joy coming out? Please be people of joy. No matter what problem, be people of joy. All right? Yes. So, sometimes, you have to, when trouble take man, what happen? Picnic short fit him. We have to still do that, and we have to smile. Because our African forefathers, Miss Lou, tell us in all our writing, them they strong, and them they powerful, and nothing couldn't get them down. Right? Next one, please. Okay, where you think that picture was? From Ring Ding. Yeah, man. I was a part of Ring Ding between 1968 and 1980. Everybody loved Ring Ding. They used to go Jamaica Broadcasting Corporation for this. And Miss Lou would have people do dance, folk dance, songs, and riddles, and she'd tell her Nancy stories, all with what? The reason why she do it, you think it was only for fun and games? No. What do you think she did it for? Somebody tell me why she did it. Pass on the culture, right? And also to let them feel good, to be empowered that them have something in them language them can talk about, right? And to feel proud of their African ancestors and where they came from. That's just another picture with Miss Lou and some children. She wanted to make sure she always addressed the issue of race class. Please do not look at your friends and look on the color and judge. Judge by the content of their character. You see me? All right. She loved children, and you had different shades. But we are in the same boat together. Let's move on. Legacy in literature. Of course, we all know Miss Lou took an oral culture that our forefathers just used to speak, and she put it in books. You see all the books? The one book I didn't see up there was Jamaica Labrish. I love this one, I see. It's there? I see Miss Lou and Nancy Auntie Roche says selected poems. Oh, this is the older version. So me learn something. Me think mine was the oldest, but this is the oldest. There you go. That's another thing. Miss Lou wants us to open our mind. We don't know everything. Even though I'm not cowl, I am learning every day something. So open your mind to things and learn and study. Okay, let's move on. And of course, you know, people in universities are studying patois. Musicians, remember Soja? Soja in the US, who are not even Jamaicans, use our patois and win Grammy Award. And of course, you know about Toots and Maytals and all that, our own Toots and Bob Marley and everybody. They did great with our patois, thanks to Miss Lou. She used the power of words to encourage us to use what was given to us by our ancestors. Boy, I just love her. Of course, she empowered us to transform lives. What does transform mean? Change. Change the way we see things. Change the way we live if it's not positive. That's what she did. Her legacy continues to empower new generation. That's you, to share their stories and celebrate them culture. I think that's going to be the end of that one. Can move on. Conclusion. Miss Lou left us this legacy, all right? She wanted us. Transformative words are just words that change us from the inside out. We can put on all the nice clothes and everything, but it's the inside that must be really good. So please, I'm encouraging you to read about your culture. There are so many visionaries you can read about. Miss Lou, yeah, Professor Mervyn Morris. I have a book that's coming out in next week called I, Miss Lou, Voice of the Jamaican People. And I hope you're going to look it up and you read it. It goes right throughout her life. And I also wrote some essays, and you'll hear about people who know Miss Lou from Canada and all about, and Jamaica, and we just celebrate her. So thank you, Mr. Russell. We're finished with that right now. Thank you. So we are going to now go back to this page quickly. Quick. And can somebody get up who good, can read Independence, and just get up and read it? If one person can read like 3 lines and another person 3 lines, how about I choose somebody? You young man, you can read it for me? Yeah, man. You're handsome like. Stand up. Three of the lines. And then let me get that young lady at the top. You think you can read 3? Yeah. Who can read? Who can read for me? I need one person. I'll give it to you. We have it. We give you. Come down. Quick. And one person from over here can read the rest. Who want to read it? You? All right, come. Quickly. And then we are going to write our own poems. And then we're done. All right, you read the first 3 lines, and yeah, three stanzas. Low, everybody, keep on your mouth.
Independence with a vengeance. Independence raising Cain. Jamaica start grow beard, I hope, which in can stand the strain. When dog maga him head big and when puss hungry, him nose clean. But every puss and dog no know what independence mean. Matty say it mean with fiercely. Stand up and with dignity. And we don't allow nobody to take liberty with we. Independence is with nature. Born and bred in all we do. And she glad to see that government turn independent too.
She hope them caution read this for.
She hope them caution world map to stop draw Jamaica small for the little speck can show we independentness at all. More somewhere, we must tell map that we don't like we position. Please kindly take we out to sea and draw we in the ocean. What a crosses! Independent will never have a chance. While so much bagayaga that expose them ignorance. Dog wag him tail for suit him size and match him stamina. Jamaica people need an independence formula.
No easy by princess things. No flavor, some privation. Not much of this and less of that. And plenty. Studyration. Independence with a vengeance. Wonder how we gone to cope. Jamaica start smoke pipe. I hope we got enough jacks.
Ay, ay, ay. Clap them. Clap them. Good. Thank you. Clap them. All right. So quickly, I don't know if you have pencils, but remember when we talked about the theme and we talked about onomatopoeia, can somebody tell me what are the themes of the poem? Anybody? One person just get up and tell me one of the themes. What is the poem? Yes. Yeah. Somebody just, you want to tell me? Yes. Tell them.
It's about Jamaica gaining their independence.
That's right. Good. And the struggles that they went through. Yes, so. Anything you read, you're going to have to know the theme of what you read in order to know the main idea. So it's about national pride, celebrating Jamaica independence from colonial rule. Did they feel proud? Did Miss Lou feel proud? Yeah, she felt proud, but there were struggles, right? And there were difficulties and there were challenges. So when you go back to school, you and your teachers can, do further work on it. But I'm just going through this because I want you to write a quick poem about Miss Lou. All right. How about Jamaica Start Grow Beard? What is that? Is that a ballad or is that personification? Very good, and I say, and I see it's personification. Because Jamaica is like a person growing beard. Didn't that give power to the words? Than just saying Jamaica is trying to grow up. Don't it just sound better? Jamaica start grow beard, yeah man. When dog maga him head big and when puss hungry him nose clean. Is that imagery or is that Proverbs? Who said Proverbs? Yes. It's a saying. When dog maga, him head big, and when puss hungry, him nose clean. All right. Independence with a vengeance. Independence is with nature. And I gave you a hint. Independence is compared to a dance. A dance is a way of achieving the goal of being independent, like a journey. So independence is a dance. Is that a simile or metaphor? Yes, because we're saying independence is a dance, not like a dance. Very good on a bright man. And Bogo Yaga, what does that one? Walk, clap on yourself, on a bright, sir. Me never have to come here. But wait. Not easy come by freeness, things, no labor, some privation, not much of this and less of that, and plenty study ration. Which words rhyme? Which words rhyme in that? Give me the 2 words that rhyme at the end. And study ration, good. And those of you going to go into English more and language, it has a A, B, C, B rhythm. The second and the fourth line, they rhyme. And it give it rhythm. So boy, on a bright side. So the last thing I'd like you to do, you see how I showed you that acrostic poem with Miss Lou? You have on your page behind, look for where you have at the back of your page to write a poem. I'm going to give you like 3 minutes, a quick thing. You don't have to do an acrostic poem, but I want it in dialect. Me no want no English language. All right? So you have the acrostic poem to help you, and you can just make up your own dialect poem using any kind of rhyme scheme. And it doesn't even have to be rhyme. 3 minutes.
You have a question? Yes, listen, people. You're writing your own poems. And here is the caveat. Dr. Hicklin and I are going to be doing a collection from the Symposium, and we are going to select some of the poems to be published in the journal. So each of you will have the opportunity to send us your poems, and when Dr. Hicklin and I put the anthology together in the journal, we're going to do a special journal for Miss Lou. We will include some of these poems. And it doesn't matter what you are intending to be. Creative writing has been studied and shown to be one of the best forms of self-introspection, self-analysis, and expression. So, write your poems. I know not all of you got folders, but if you have paper, write your poems, and we will send to the school where to send the poems, okay? And perhaps there'll be time for maybe 1 or 2 before we close.
Yes, thank you, Professor. Yes, and all you can do, you can do 4 to 8 lines. It doesn't have to be long. Think about what you heard today and think about what your mind is saying and just write it down, even if you don't have it arranged yet. Yes, sir. Huh? I didn't hear that. You need a paper? Oh, you already did it? Come up, come up. Come up, clap him. That was so quick. Wow, Jamaica College? Right on. What's your name, sir?
My name is Javier Scott.
Nice. Can you read yours? Wow, that was quick.
All right. The title of the poem is Expressing Lou. No, I'm saying the poem. Walk on walk, stalk on stalk. Miss Lou was never afraid to talk. She was loud, she was robust, and she were never left in the dust. Walla walla, talla talla, the shyness run off to their mother. The way she talked, the way she moved, was enough to keep up the Jamaican groove.
Excellent. So keep that. Make sure, because Professor Disa is going to want it, all right? Nice, man. There you go. Anybody else have any little thing they want to share? Remember, it doesn't have to rhyme. So I can give you some ideas. Think about one word. When you think about that word, you think of Miss Lou. Then when you think of that word, find a word that will rhyme with it. I write a lot, and what I do is always think about the words I want in my poem. Then I try to see if there's a rhyme scheme. Sometimes it's just free expressions. You know what free expressions are? It doesn't follow any format, any literary, poetic format. You just the free speech. So you could just say, Miss Lou, the philosopher. You know, like a dub poet. You know, dub poets do their poem. Yeah, you can do dub poet style. You can do acrostic using her name M and write something about the MISSLOU. That's an acrostic poem. Or you can do like what Miss Lou do, doing a ballad quatrain. Or you can do free expressions. All right? And poetry doesn't mean you have to have a lot of lines. Is there someone else that would like to come up? Yes? All right. Come on up. Tell your name. I am so happy. You guys are creative. Tell your name and school.
Good morning. My name is Davia Ellis, and I'm from St. Jago High School.
Yes.
Okay. Continue. All right. Miss Lou, the world's leading comedian, she accepted the language of our nation. She never knew. At this, the future of plan, she did have a stepson called Fabian. Miss Lou, the world's leading comedian, she accepted the language of our nation. She never knew. At this, the future of plan, she did have a stepson called Fabian. Scandal, cuss, and Bonanshi. She know the way the people think. She know how them feel. Miss Lou, the whole of our dreams come true. She did go Ebizena primary school. Miss Lou, the world's leading comedian, she accepted the language of our nation. She never knew. At this, the future of plan, she did have a stepson called Fabian. Miss Lou.
Man!
Davia Ellis.
Davia Ellis. Davia Ellis and Jago. Listen, we have some, see, present, change Jamaica. You don't have to wait till you get older. This is where it begins. Yeah, man. Anybody else? Come on, somebody else. Even if you don't finish it, come on up and read it. Come on, I know you have it. Yeah, come. Come on, man. You're pretty light. Come on. So we have lots of poets in here. Lots. Some of you are going to write books. It might not be poems, but you might write books. Some of you will write your recipes. All of us are writers in different ways. So name and school and come up. Name and school and read it.
Hi, good morning. My name is Carissa Hopwood, and I'm from St. Andrew High School for Girls. The poem is entitled, I'm a Jamaican. I'm so proud to be a Jamaican. Thanks for Miss Lou for giving me enough inspiration. What a go on, the blue-eyed man says, every time I travel overseas. The blue maho and our bamboo trees, the fresh, nice water and the cool, cool breeze. Thank God me a Jamaican. And thank God for the Jamaican wannabes.
Man, you inspire me. Don't them inspire you, Doctor? Professor Lisa, yeah, man. Andrea, you inspired by these young change makers? Yeah, man. All right, so anybody else want? We want one more. And remember, write all your poems. And remember what Professor Lisa said. It is going to be printed. Yeah, man, I'm going to turn celebrity. Celebrity, yes. One more, come on. You see all the button them on him? You know Sam is a leader, you know. Say your name, school.
All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Ari Doman, and I am from the great Arden High School. All right, so I didn't give the poem a title as yet, but I think at the end I'll be able to realize one. When the teacher tell we a Miss Lou time, whole class catch a fire, cause we have to catch the rhyme. So me start off proper enough, but when the patwa liquid, it whole way by we short. Family is no pia. My daughter sued the teacher. And when rain fall or person sick, my son Uriah preach. Sunday gone, rain come, so till pastor could have left from out him yard. People did in a church. And so Uriah get where broad. Him climb up on the pulpit. Him lean over and look down. Him look pa all we enemy and lash them with him tongue. The first one him take on was lies. Who tell the lie pa me? Him stare in our face and say, thou art the multi. Him say, thou art the medicine. Thou art the rosum. And then him look pa me and say, 20, thou art the slaughtered lamb. Him take on teacher Brown for when him was a little tot. Aye.
Awesome. Well, I am so proud of all of you today, and it was an honor to be here with you, to celebrate Miss Lou, to learn about the power of Miss Lou's words, how it elevates us, how it educates us about our family from in the past, who taught us through their poetry, songs, riddles, proverbs, how to appreciate our culture, appreciate who we are, and so that we will take it and inspire the next generation how to live. Remember, it is philosophy, it is wisdom, it teaches critical thinking. Do not just have an idea and go with it. Think about it. Miss Lou was a thinker. Miss Lou was a trailblazer. She was part of the national development to just turn over the whole establishment and make them know, say, we're little, but we're Talawa, and we have our own language, we own culture, we own identity, we own literature, we own a university, we own everything. Aye. Thank you very much.
Give Tania Hernandez a hand. Awesome. We're really thankful for you coming this long distance to be with us, to share with our students. Festival on behalf of the university, the language department, ICS, we want to thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much. And just so you know, don't throw away the bookmarks. Please use them when you're studying so you can remember our national, she's our unofficial national hero, but before my dead, I know she's going to be a real national hero, right? So remember, use them, use it, put it in your books, and remember her, all right? Bless them.
You guys have been awesome, and now we're switching. The next part of the program is for the high school students, the secondary school students. We saw the primary school students that performed and read poems, and now we're going to have the high school students who are going to be doing likewise. I think San Diego is already ready, and I don't know what other schools are ready, but we're going to switch there. But because you've been so awesome, and because we've been sitting, let us stand up and just stretch for a minute. Come on, everybody, stand up. Say hello to your friend beside you and behind you. Let us clap ourselves. Let us just shake out some of the stiffness in our bodies by moving to the right or to the left. And then I want the schools. Here is what I think I want to do. I know that a lot of the elementary school students have gone out. We're going to have lunch and we want to take pictures. Miss Tania wants to take pictures with all of the schools, and we'll do that just before the lunch break. And I certainly, Dr. Hicklin and I also want to have pictures with the schools, so we're going to do that. All right, so can I have, I know which high schools, I need the high schools that are going to be performing to move on down, right? So I know that at least 2 high schools are here that will be performing, and we will have opportunity for other students who might not have signed up who want to perform. Because this next part is performance and a dialogue again about Miss Lou. And we really want to engage all of you about Miss Lou and how you see her as being part of your future and how her work includes the future. And I think I would be remiss if I didn't say to look at Miss Lou simply as a comic is to really reduce her range, right? And so I have 3 prizes, 3 T-shirts. Where is Miss Palmer? Miss Palmer, I think, is going to be giving out bracelets for everybody. I think we have enough. But I have 3 questions for my secondary school students, and we'll be giving out prizes. So listen, Miss Tania Hernandez is coming up with a really big prize for a school. I think it should be for a school. We're going to be offering $200 for one of the secondary schools. And so she's going to have some questions for you. So if you want to win $200 for your school, you want to stick around and think about that.
Yes. And you know what I think would be easier too? If I give them sheets of paper with the names of their school, and then we will pick one. Oh, okay. We could do that, right? But yeah, you could also answer a question. So let me see, first of all, I think let's do that. A question about Miss Lou. Where in England, what radio program was Miss Lou a part of in England? She went there to speak on the Jamaican culture. Anybody remember the name of the radio station? Well, read it. No, but did anybody did reading? Anybody? Yes. What's the school? BBC? Arden? Arden gets it.
So Arden High School will get $200 for their drama program. And so we want, come on down, come on down. So say your name.
All right. My name is Levon Brown. And as has been introduced before, I am from the Great Arden High School.
And there is Miss, who is going to be giving that for the school. So you can say something white until she comes on stage.
All right. I think I'll just take this time to give a great thanks to the drama team at Arden High School and also the drama director at Arden High School, Ms. Thompson. They have allowed me to be able to come here. And I've been most grateful for the opportunity to be able to come and learn about Miss Lou and all that she would have done for this great nation, Jamaica.
Yes. So, I am going to say on behalf of the ancestral spirits and Miss Lou, Miss Tanya Lou would like to give you $200 to promote any arts initiative, anything to do with Miss Lou. Continue. I see you're on the debating society. Yes? Continue to be a luminary and, yeah, Arden or go on, like all the other schools. All right? Bless you. Thanks.
So that was a very generous gift, and we want to be very generous with you and with everyone else. All right, so now, wow, I think that deserves something really much better in terms of clap yourselves. And clap really loud, Miss Tania Hernandez. All right. Which of my high school is ready to perform? And I need you guys to come and just line up because I know you're going to be performing. So let's go and then we'll get to the debate. And those of you who are going to be part of the debate, you need to come down here. We want to keep it flowing and so that you are doing the talking and the performing and I am not necessarily doing the talking and the performing. All right, so I don't see Miss Palmer in the room, but she should be somewhere around. I have 3 questions for my secondary school students to win a t-shirt. And the first question is, and raise your hand, and maybe, Arden, I will exclude you because you have just gotten this fun. But anyway, this is just for the secondary school student. What's the name of the institution that Miss Louise Bennett got her degree in England? Royal Academy of, yes, come on, RADA. So as I said, it's really important that we know not just Miss Lou's work, but we know about her. And so, Miss Palmer, do you have the t-shirt for this young man? Tell us your name, please.
My name is Javier Scott.
And you are from?
Jamaica, the Jamaica College.
Thank you. Thank you. She'll get it to you. Okay, so the other question is, Miss Lou did a lot of work in Jamaica, but she worked at 2 institutions. Do you know the name of one or either of the places where Miss Lou, when she came back from RADA, where she worked? Anybody? In Jamaica? Yes. Yes? Edna wasn't around then, but yes, Miss Lou taught folklore at the University of the West Indies. Come on down, we know you're ready, and you also get a t-shirt. And then one other question, and maybe I'll just reserve it for the other 2 schools that have not yet participated in winning, because we want, you're all winners, and we want everybody to win. And this is a really easy question. Okay, sorry, you say she's finding the right size.
My name is Joshua Wilson from Arden High School, and yeah, go up to her.
All right, so the other question now, and Arden cannot participate, nor can JC because they have won. And this is really, really easy. Really, really easy. Who can tell me the title of one of Miss Lou's books? Come on, yes? Laugh with Miss Lou. Yes, come on up and you get a t-shirt. And this is from one of the students now from St. Andrews. My sister went to St. Andrews, right? I'm a Woolmerian. So there is your t-shirt. Tell us your name again.
My name is Davia Ellis.
Later on, I want a picture picture with all of you with those t-shirts up that says Miss Lou. Those are the Miss Lou Festival t-shirts. All right, now, easy cheesy peasy, right? Easy cheesy peasy. Miss Lou is known as a comic, but Miss Lou transformed one of Jamaica's theatrical stage. What is that called? And it happens every year and it still continues. St. Andrew? Pantomime, yes! And I want you all to know, how many of you have gone to the pantomime? Boy, that used to be a must. The pantomime is a mainstay in Jamaican culture, right? And before, Miss Lou was the one who nationalized the pantomime. Because before Miss Lou, the pantomime looked at material from England, but Miss Lou and Mas Rani nationalized the pantomime. And so we have a t-shirt for her. Let's just bring it up for now, even if it's the wrong size. We'll find her the right size so she can open it and tell us your name.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Ayla Pessoa Rollins from St. Andrew High School for Girls.
For the presentation, I was on the...
All right, so St. Jago, you are performing, yes? Right, so we're going to bring up St. Jago first to do their performance. And then, which other school is performing poems? Which other of the secondary school is performing poems? St. Andrew, okay. Anyone other school that's performing poems before we go into the debate? So let's start with St. Jago and their performance. We'll move to St. Andrew and then we'll have the debate. All right, excellent.
Yes. So all of the students who are presenting. All right, so we're moving into the high school segment now. All of the students who are presenting or participating in the debate, there should be 4 of you, 1 from each school. Can you make your way down, please?
If you don't make your way down, I'm just going to point at someone from each school.
All right. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. We'll do the presentations at the end. What we're going to do is we want 1 student from each school, right? 1 student, you choose your best debater, your best presenter, right? Your best argumenter, your best chatter, the best talker, the best person who can bring argument. Right? 1 from each school. Wait, the guys come down already. Come on. Ladies, where are the ladies? Right? And we're going to pose a moot to you. So we're going to, and each of you are going to come up with an argument to present to us issues around that moot. Okay? Come now. We have Jago up here yet? Where's Jago? Where's St. Andrew? Andrews, Jago. Come on, guys. You can do this. You can do this. Quick thinking. And we're going to do it as a discussion. Yeah? We're going to have a discussion around Miss Lou. In the interim, those people who have presentations, Radhika, can you stand up, please? Radhika will tell you where to email them so that we can have them so you can make them in a couple of minutes. We're going to pose some questions to you. And I don't see the St. Andrew girl. No, sir. St. Andrew girls don't shy. My sister used to go to St. Andrew, and she's the most unshy human being in the world. St. Andrew girls don't back down. That I know for sure, because my whole family went to St. Andrew. I'm the only one who never got there. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Quick thinking, smart girls. We are live on TV. We don't have a lot of time. We gotta go. One more. All right.
Performance in the meantime.
So, yeah. So, we're going to have a performance in the interim. Come on, where's the St. Andrew girl? Where is the St. Andrew girl? Come on, man. Don't itch, come. Don't itch, come. You're good to go. You don't need to prepare. I just want you to be able to speak from your heart about some of the issues that are affecting you as young people. Come on, guys. Go in the meantime.
Begin?
Yes, go. You're up. Here.
Good morning, teacher. How is you? My name is Sarah Paul, and this is for me little boy Michael, and we just bring him to school. Him born one rainy day, Massa, it was coming on tonight. Ugly baby grew up pretty for you, for this one was a sight. We call him Mike, Mikey, Jake, Jakey, Jacob, Jack. But him right name is Michael Jacob Alexander Black. Him born the week when Rufus jackfruit tree did start for beer. You know, say at that same month Obi Pig did dead. But me can't remember the year. But me I beg you, fi take time with him, teacher. For him is a sickly child. You see, as you touch him start fi make noise. Some people say him spoil. But me I ask your teacher, don't be rough with him, yeah? Don't be rough with him at all. You see, if you rude and start for rave, just beat another child. And him will frighten and behave. Because enough time when him rude I had and won't hear at all, I say I just beat the bedpost. I beat the bedpost hard. And ma, you want to see Jack a ball. But now that you know him look a waste, teacher, and having no fear at all, that anything at all will mail him, I left him in your care. Aye.
I love that poem, and I think it is one of the, and first of all, I want to applaud this young lady who has done an excellent interpretation of that poem. An excellent interpretation of that poem. You know, in theater and in drama, we have something we call pathos, P-A-T-H-O-S, and certainly that was demonstrated in that poem. Now, which is important, that poem is important on many levels, but it's one of the poems that really show Miss Lou as a social commentator, commenting on the school system, commenting on parenting, and most importantly, commenting on our children. Now, this is a little kid who has just started school. We'd call him a student. Why do you think she titled the poem Scholar? Why is he a scholar? We think of scholars as people in the university, educated, you know. He is just starting school. What do you think Louise Bennett is saying to us by saying this is a scholar? Who wants to just come on and share that, or maybe somebody here? Thank you.
Miss Lou had a way to speak into the lives of Jamaican people. So she was speaking over this child's life by declaring that he is going to be a scholar, even before he started school.
A very brilliant, insightful interpretation of the poem. And I want to just elaborate a little, although I don't need to, about what he just said, about us speaking into life who we are and what we want to become. Speaking into life what we think and believe to be the blessings and the goodness of Jamaica. That's your job as our future leaders and scholars and artists and engineers in design, being the future of the architect. And I want you to speak to yourself what you intend to be, not what you don't want to be. And I want you to speak that to others, because Miss Lou in that poem was saying you are all scholars. When you enter school, you enter as a scholar, and you should be respected and nurtured as a scholar. Thank you very much. Who is the next performer? Is there Arden? I think maybe you kind of jumped the gun and performed already, or are you still performing again? Is there something else you're performing? No? Say, Dadrick, please come on down. I love that hat.
My name is Taki Stewart from St. Andrew High School for Girls. Back to Africa, Miss Matty. You don't know where that say. You have to come from somewhere first before you go back there. Me know say that your great grandma was African. But Matty, the one your great grandpa was Englishman, and your great grandmother father by your father's side was Jew, and your grandmother father by your mother's side was Frenchy Parlez-vous. But your whole generation, unu all born down a bun ground, unu all is Jamaican. Then is where you're going, Miss Matty. You view the countenance, and between you and the Africans is great resemblance. According to that, all them blue-eye white American, all who for great-grandpa Englishman must go back to England. What a devil of a bump and bore, ram pam and palam pam. If the whole world start to go back where them great-grandpa come from. Me say, if a hard time you run from Matty, yes, you can go over there, but no tell nobody say you're going to seek homeland for a right there, so you're there. That was Back to Africa by Louise Bennett-Coverley.
I know, and Dr. Aiklin has something to say. I feel standing here so proud and so grateful, because I know we're in good hands. Absolutely in good hands. I look at you, I listen to you, and I am a proud Jamaican. And I'm not worried. I've been worried, I have to tell you, because some parts of our country don't look like it should. But I am very confident that you will change that up. You have given me evidence that you will. And here comes our next performer. You have to do mic or they won't hear you for the TV. Okay.
Dear cousin Min, you missing thing. You should have been over here for the independence celebration. Capture Jamaica. You want to see how Jamaica people rise to the occasion, and them don't miss not a thing. You want to see unruly Jane, unmanageable girl, will stand up in front of me and sing. Teachers, true respect for all. And you want to see the lazy boy Joe who catch up at him shop and him serious up in face and say, the response to duty's call. Why? Teeth and tongue was all united. Hands and heart was soul and glove. Celebration Dignity by Dr. Louise Bennett-Coverley.
Absolutely remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. I can tell you this. I get goose pimples listening to you all. I think you all have been absolutely wonderful. So what we're going to do for the hour that we have left, having heard these remarkable presentations, we've seen these performances, and we said earlier in the day that one of the issues that we have is that people see Miss Lou as just a performance, and I use the word just advisedly, because a lot of people, you know the word less count? Anybody ever hear the word? Nobody grandmother never tell them about the word less count? The word less count means to diminish, right? To diminish another individual, to see them as less than, to count them less than someone else, right? See them as inferior to another person. And very often we're in a position where our own society less counts. Our language, our culture. I teach cultural and creative industries. And I teach issues to do with the creative economy, which is how people use cultural expression to make a living, essentially. And it is one of the areas that is absolutely less counted when you come to issues of industry. You hear about tourism, you hear about medicine, you hear what people want to go turn lawyer, people want to turn anything else. But once you hear that you want to be a singer, dancer, a musician, an artist manager, an artist, a poet, any of those things, people say, so, oh, what are you going to do with that? And they say that to you when you are coming to university to learn linguistics with Dr. Farquharson, or language with Dr. Tomlin, literature with Dr. Tomlinson, or cultural and creative industries with me. You say, wait. So when you do that degree, what you gonna do? And I can tell you, Dr. Farquharson spent much of his time last year working on a movie. He's a linguist. He teaches linguistics. And he was a person who taught the gentleman who did the One Love movie, yeah, how to speak Jamaican. No, sir? Yeah? He helped him, he coached him in finding the appropriate accent for that. So there are lots of jobs in this area. But essentially what I'm saying is, don't less count your expression. There are many, many ways that you can apply it professionally when you're done with this. So we have about 45 minutes left, and at the very end we're going to ask our student colleague from Arden to make a presentation. But before we do that, I have some questions for our youngsters who are, is there another mic? Our youngsters who are here. So first I want them to introduce themselves. And of course you have on your uniforms, but tell Jamaicans who are watching exactly where you're from. And tell us, you're proud of your school, so let's hear it.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Brianna. As you know, I go to St. Andrew High School for girls. I'm from Portmore. And I do literatures in English, and that's why I'm here today.
Good morning again, everyone. I am David Hamilton from Arden High School for the Visual and Performing Arts. We should just add that in there. And Arden is a really great school, really rounded school, so you guys should stop by.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Michaela Hay, and I'm representing the St. Jago High School in St. Catherine, Spanish Town. And I am a member of the Drama Club, and St. Jago is really known for that and the performing arts. Thank you.
My name is Javier Scott, and I go to Jamaica College. And one thing that I can say about the school is that we're good at everything.
And you're modest. Yeah. JC boys are modest, right? All right. Here we go. All right. So each of you, I want you to think. I want you to think for a moment of why Miss Lou is important for your generation. Why is Miss Lou? We hear about Miss Lou, we've performed Miss Lou, we've learned where she lives and so on. But when we're thinking about the things that she has done, why on earth should you, born in the 21st century, have any interest in Miss Lou, who born in 19? No, that's a long time ago, no? Why?
Can I start?
Yes.
All right. Now, for most of us being born in the 21st century, we as students, we are now moving into the stage of technology where basically we have access to all the cultures all over the world. And one thing that we as Jamaican or we as human, anything we do or anything we see, we do. So one thing we can do, or one importance that Miss Louise has to our culture is that she makes us keep in tune to what it is to be a Jamaican.
And tell me a little bit more about that. What does it mean to be a Jamaican?
Well, first off, to be a Jamaican, you have to be proud, I would say, of yourself, of your culture, and embrace everything about the country that you were born in. Now, for most people who are born here, some people who are not, our motto or something that is proudly stamped on the Jamaican or for Jamaica is out of many one people. So it does not matter what ethnic background you come from, you are a Jamaican. And being different is what really makes you a Jamaican citizen.
St. Andrew?
Well, as a student of history, I believe that it's important for us to know our history. Now, for Miss Lou, she is a cultural icon and one of the pillars of not only Jamaican culture, but Caribbean culture. And for people who are looking to go in that direction, to study the arts, you have to know, where did it start? Who are the shakers and the movers, not only of the present day, but of the past? And that's why Miss Lou is important. She's a legacy. She is one of the people that started the cultural explosion that happened in Jamaica, and she's one of the people that made us significant on the world stage.
Okay.
I believe one of Miss Lou's most significant contributions to Jamaica is our appreciation and acceptance of Jamaican Creole as a language. And I don't believe it's something that has been passed on to this generation. I'm not sure where the idea came from that speaking the standardized Jamaican Creole is chat bad. I don't know where that came from, and it is shunning our culture. And it has been passed on through even the school system, where we're taught patois is not a real language, but for those of us who know, patois is human, patois is maturational, patois is instinctive, and hence it is a language. So we should appreciate that more. And I believe Miss Lou serves as that connector between the past, now, and the future, as to how we can use patois, the patois that we don't know, as you said, let's count those phrases that we're not as familiar with, to pass it on to the future generations to ensure that our language doesn't die out.
Okay.
So when I look at Miss Lou, I believe that she's a reinforcer of our culture. For us in the 21st century, we are so familiar with technology and we're so used to being online and stuff. And I believe that Miss Lou reminds us of our culture. She reminds us of our roots, where we came from, with her language, her way of words, her different dynamics. And I believe that as a student, as a young person in the 21st century, we should try our best to look more into our roots, connect with our roots, discover where they came from, and learn more about it. Thank you.
All right, I have one more question for the panel, and then we can probably ask a couple of people if they have comments on from within the audience. All right. Do you all know what decolonization is?
Yes,
So let me help you, because I want you to be able to think about it and to respond. Decolonization is a process of moving away from colonialism, right? So we were colonial, we were a colony of Britain, and up to 1962, where we got our independence. And so that was a part of our decolonization movement, yeah? And we continue still to go through processes that move us away from the mindset of colonization. Now, whenever I raise these issues in my class with students, some of whom are around your age, they said, this don't have nothing to do with me. This have to do with people long time who born in the 1960s and 70s, and it don't have a thing to do with anything to do with us when we're playing with video game and we're doing little things. So I want us to think about Miss Lou's role, yeah, in our process of decolonization. So I want us to think of decolonization not as something that ended in 1962 when we moved from being a colony of Britain and became an independent nation, but as something that continues, and we're still in the middle of it. So you now, as young people, are in a new phase of decolonization, right? And Miss Lou can be a catalyst for that. What does that decolonization process look like for you in the 21st century? In trying to create the Jamaica that you want, thinking of some of the things that Miss Lou would have written about. Is that a hard question?
Necessarily.
No? All right. Who going first?
I can go first.
Nobody going first?
I'll go.
Go.
Okay, so one of my favorite poems from Miss Lou is Colonization in Reverse.
All right.
And I believe that poem really shares the excitement of what it feels like from a Jamaican's perspective to be experiencing decolonization. I believe her words basically influence a Jamaican's perspective away from the colonization aspect. She helps us to become our own person, our own individual, instead of being shaped around what our colonizers wanted us to be. So the British colonizers had an image in their mind of who they wanted us to be. They came here, they took over instantly, but Miss Lou and her words, they're amazing. They help us to form our own individual, our own persona, and they help us out of that box that we were forced into.
Fantastic. Thank you. Anyone else? What does decolonization look like for you, St. Andrew?
For me, I think decolonization can be most seen in our school system and our education system, especially with the way the language, patois, is dealt with and treated. Now, I'm not sure for everyone, but how many people have felt like, because I speak patois, my thoughts and opinions don't matter, or I can't measure up to what my colleagues are saying in class? Anyone? Now, luckily enough, I go to a school where you have many educated and understanding professors who now create an environment to facilitate speakers, people who speak in patois, to express themselves and not feel undermined by the system. And they allow them to not only learn the language of English, but don't shame them for having patois as their first language. And in the media as well, we're seeing now that it's being spoken on national broadcast programs such as the TVJ. We see programs that, the IT and Fancy Cat show, anybody knows it? Yeah. That's a Jamaican show, and you heard patois through and through, and no one felt ashamed. These are famous cultural icons. So Louise Bennett was the start of this, was the start of us embracing patois. And I'm glad that she's being studied, and she needs to continue to be studied, and her impact as well.
Gentlemen, you're up.
In order for us to fully decolonize. I believe Marcus Garvey said it best when he said, a people without a history of their
Without knowledge of their history.
a people without a knowledge of their history is like a tree without roots. And I believe in order for us to fully understand, we need to have an appreciation of what the colonization process was like and examine how we still maintain aspects of the colonial system in Jamaica, even in our laws. As a Cape Law student, our laws are not fully Jamaicanized. So I believe we really need to take that approach and look into everything. And even in our parliament, I mean, if our speakers, if our parliamentarians were more comfortable with using the Jamaican language, because nobody will call them dunce, which is on us. We need to look into ourselves and appreciate the language more as people. I believe that would make a big change in our society. I mean, we have had poets like icons like Miss Lou. We've had people like Claude McKay in the 1920s with the Harlem Renaissance, rebelling against the white man culture. Not to say that it's bad or anything, it's a part of our culture, but the African aspect of our culture is often pushed under the carpet, and it is time for us. We're in the 21st century. If not now, then when?
Our colleague from JC.
No, for me, or my opinion, one step we as the 21st century people can do to move towards or away from colonization is we could first off detach ourselves from our colonizers, the British. And for one, I would suggest, living our truth. And as she said, there's a linguist over there who also inspired the movie One Love, which basically made people from other cultures interested in what's happening in Jamaica. And I think having a linguist in every single school would make everybody come together and make the culture be more appreciated.
And I know this is a very controversial statement, but Jamaica needs to become a republic if we're supposed to fully decolonize. And I wholeheartedly agree with that sentiment. For those who may disagree, I believe putting in place the right policies and having people, Jamaican people, on that committee will help us to make the right decisions and ensure that it is really in the interest of all Jamaican citizens.
Okay, I'm going to invite my colleague, Dr. Joseph Farquharson, from the Linguistics Department, who wants to clarify for all of us exactly how the issues of language that we've been talking about.
Okay, thanks, Dr. Hickling. Morning, everybody. Well, I was asked just to say a little word, which I was reluctant to do because I didn't want to steal the shine from the brilliant young people we have here. But it's just to frame the language. We are a bilingual country, meaning that we have access to two languages, English and Jamaican. I call it Jamaican. A lot of people call it Patois. The beautiful thing about that is that we have more resources to work with. In the 1950s, English people started to push their language. I was going to say their language and culture, but they've been pushing their culture for centuries now. But they started to push their language. They set up the British Council, and the British Council marketed English. So why all of us believe that English is this indispensable thing that everybody needs today is because they marketed their language. Do you know what the result of that is? English people and English-speaking people now make billions of US dollars per year of English. English is a business. And how they came to that is because they packaged their culture, their language, and they marketed it. So when you have to go to foreign and you have to do an exam called IELTS, proficiency test for English, and you have to pay money to do that test, that is English people making money off their language. Because you need the books to prepare for it, you need people to set the exams, you need people to manage the whole exam process, to mark the exams. Now, some of the tests are being done online. You need people to make the software, to manage all of that. It's big business. My question is, so why can't my language be big business too? And once we get into that frame of mind, it means that creates opportunities for many of you here to become the marketers of the language, to become the people who create the dictionaries, the textbooks, who set the tests, who help to mark the tests, develop the software, etc. There are lots of people around the world who want to learn Jamaican, and they're doing that on their own practically. People set up internet forum, WhatsApp groups, Telegram groups, etc. to learn the language. What they don't have is a critical mass of Jamaicans who are convinced that their language is good enough, is marketable enough, so that they can sell that to the rest of the world. That means we are missing out. So many of the things out there for marketing our own language are done by outsiders. So what we want is that the people who were educated at Arden, who were educated at Jago, at JC, at Tivoli, at Cornwall, at wherever you're educated, that we step into positions to ensure that we will be the ones to benefit from our language. So I just want you to bear that in mind as we think about Miss Lou. Miss Lou kind of held it for us, defended us, so that we can now take that opportunity and earn, that's the word, and earn from the thing that we created. Thank you.
Thank you. So I just want to add to that. It was really important for me that you heard that about that English or any other language, there is money in it, and many people love Jamaica, and so we need to monetize our language and our culture. Because when people come here, they don't necessarily want what they left. They came here for the specificity of Jamaica, and our language is part of that. Also, to add to what Dr. Ferguson said, is that, you know, their countries, Nelson Mandela set the precedents in South Africa. How many national languages are there in South Africa? Anybody remembers or knows? Right? The 11, I think, national languages, because he wanted to be inclusive, and he understands that we are multilingual. So there's no reason to keep Jamaica from having the Jamaican language and the English, so that we're proficient in both. And actually we should be proficient with all of our Caribbean people. We have Cuba right there, so we should be speaking Spanish. And you know, there's Puerto Rico, there is Haiti, who liberated us in the New World as the first, so we should be speaking French. There is Papiamento and Dutch. There is no reason why we can't be multilingual, because when I travel to Africa, when I travel to Asia, when I travel to Europe, many people in those societies speak more than one language. They tend to speak 5. It's not a big thing if you learn it the right way and you learn it when you started. So I have just been thrilled by this discussion, thrilled by the level of intellectual thought that is being put into it, and we have some time, and so I think Dr. Hickman will continue to open it out to the rest of you. And I have a mic, because they want you to speak into the mic so people can hear, so I can move the mic around.
Okay. So before we do that, I wanted to tell you a little story. I had a friend who works in the area of research on AI, and she said to me, Deborah, you all know this thing better than I do, right? That AI is driven by data. right? You have to create data in order for the AI to generate the elements in order to feed them back to you, right? Am I right? At saying it right? Yes. Okay, all right. So every pronunciation, every Jamaican word, every Jamaican voice, every Jamaican cadence is potential data for AI. Wanna know that? Yeah. So there you have a way of using your culture. So you have ways in AI for people to replicate, to do voiceovers, to create films, and so on. Everything is being generated out. Most things are being generated out of AI now. But this issue of creating data sets and collecting data sets, your voices, just the ways in which you present particular pieces of information. Have are some of the ways that you can create career paths to using our culture. Yeah? All right. So I have one last question for the panel, but before we go to the panel, I want from the audience to share with us. We have about 5 more minutes. The audience to share with us, Miss Lou, for your generation, who cares and why? Who cares? What's the point? Why bother? Who is she? Why should we go there and why?
Oh, well, I believe that Miss Lou was a person that had a voice, and she spoke for others who did not feel like they could speak for themselves. So she helped to vocalize that person's felt, and due to them being related to what she's saying, they enjoyed what she spoke about. And also it's the same with Bob Marley, because he made songs that persons could relate to, like Redemption Song, Emancipate Yourself from Mental Slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind.
Indeed. Anybody else? I want at least one other person from each school, right? Why bother with Miss Lou going beyond, further into the 21st century? Who's next? Who's next? Pass the mic up quickly, please. Pass the mic up quickly.
Oh. Yes, so the reason why I say why we should go and bother with Miss Lou in the 21st century is because she, along with many others, revolutionized our culture and our language by using her voice, her personality, and her different attributes. And not only that, but she also, how should I say, projected her culture to those on the outside, like other countries other than Jamaica. So because of her, we have worldwide recognition. And also, she has shaped a face of identity for us to look back and go off on.
Okay, there's someone behind you from St. Andrew.
Good morning. So, even though most of Miss Lou's poems are back then, she used her poems to, as a young man said, speak to people and comment on social, economical, and political issues. And her poems are very useful in contemporary society. For example, Back to Africa, we could interpret it in a way as even us as seniors, when we're thinking about college or when anybody wants to speak to us about college, it's always go to America, go abroad. But in Back to Africa, Miss Lou kind of mocks it to say that we don't know much about our culture. We don't know the many programs Jamaica offers. We don't know that there are many different career paths that can help us to have a great standard of living. And so because of this whole American dream, and yes, because I like to think that mentally we're kind of colonized by the Americans because we want to adapt every single thing that they have. So we want to go to America, go back to America instead of back to Africa. And we just have this whole migration and brain drain idea in our head instead of preserving our culture and just living here and building it back up. We complain that Jamaica is this and that, but we're not doing anything about it. So Miss Lou's poem, no, it calls us to reflect and to think, and even though it's probably old, it's not outdated, and it still speaks to contemporary issues.
I'm going to pick up where she left off. She says, we complain about the things that are happening to us in our lives. We hear our parents complaining about the things that are happening in their lives, but what are we doing about it? And this today is all about advocacy and activism and using your voice to make a difference. Now, that doesn't mean you have to create a whole revolution but it does mean that you can make a change in your own space, and you can use your voice to do that. That's what Miss Lou did. She used her voice so that 105 years later, after her birth, there is a group of 100 students sitting in a lecture theater talking about her work, yeah, only because she was brave. She was confident, yeah? She left cowardice behind, and all she did, and I take away the all, and what she did is she used her voice. Her voice. And each one of you have one. Powerful, don't it? Final question. Dance hall. I'm going there. Jamaican dance hall. Rhythmic. Make you want to move. Yeah? Lyrics. Provocative. In the same way that some of Miss Lou's lyrics were provocative. You know that people were clutching their pearls over Miss Lou's lyrics? How could she say that? How could she bring this up in public? Yeah. Same way in dancehall. No, people are like, oh my God, did they just go there? Okay, dancehall. Miss Lou. Was Miss Lou the first dance hall proponent? Yes or no? And is there a comparison? Oh, you can send down the mic, please.
I'm going to say yes. She used patois to create poetry. And just as rap is basically poetry over a beat, so is dancehall. And before anyone gets upset, because dancehall, the modern state of dancehall, does not feel like poetry. It doesn't feel like it has any thought or critical thinking in it. But that does not take away from the fact that these are people's thoughts going down in a creative media of their choice, used to express those opinions to the world on a larger scale. And Miss Lou did exactly that. So, yes, she is the first dancehall artist.
Okay, they've asked me to repeat the question. I don't remember what I said, but I'll tell you. Dancehall is a huge part of our popular culture, yes? And in the same way that Miss Lou, that Jamaicans were clutching their pearls in the 1960s, 70s, 80s when she was doing her work, many people are clutching their, you know what I mean when I say clutching their pearls? Dismayed, aghast, worried, find it problematic, yeah? That they were found it problematic at some of the things that are happening in the dancehall space, some of the lyrics, some of the gun business, some of the sexual business, etc. Was Miss Lou the first proponent of dancehall? Can you make a comparison, and how would you rationalize that? Okay, go ahead.
I would say yes, because looking at the history of it, dancehall really came to the forefront in the 80s there about coming down. And many of these lyrics are inspired by ballads. when you look at the lyrics on paper without the musical aspect or the instrumental aspect, it's using aspects of our Jamaican culture, aspects of poetry. So I do believe that she was one of the first proponents in that sense. However, I do not believe there should be a comparison because Miss Lou is Miss Lou. Okay. She is simply an icon for Jamaican culture and music. And dancehall as well has a way of expressing popular opinions, pop culture, what's new, what's trending. And I believe Miss Lou did that in her poetry. So in that sense, I do believe that Miss Lou was the first proponent of dancehall culture.
Okay. I just want to say one thing, please. You're going to say what you have to say. So everybody knows Muta Baruka? So Muta Baruka, and I wish we had a copy here, Joan, of Dotty Tough. You're familiar with Miss Lou's poem, Dotty Tough? So Muta Baruka has said Miss Lou is the first dub poet, right? And he recorded Miss Lou doing Dotty Tough. And the mark of a good poet is that their work lasts beyond when it should. And if you read Dotty Tough now, it is still applicable today to Jamaica. So we just can use the dub. If Miss Lou had not nationalized our language, there would not have been dub poetry. And Muta Baruka and Aku and all of these people who started that movement would agree. Young lady.
I just wanted to add something else. Just as Miss Lou spoke on social issues, so do current dancehall artists who a lot of the times their music is a representation of issues that thousands of Jamaicans are dealing with.
Right. So unlike what most of the panelists have said, I do not believe that she is related to dancehall at all. However, I do believe that she was an influence to dancehall artists, right? Because there are many similarities and comparisons that you can make between the pieces. Instead of calling it dancehall, I would like to call it art. Both individuals have created art pieces that individuals look up to and appreciate. However, I don't think it is that. I don't think you will put dancehall as its name. She is an artist. She has created various pieces of work that during her time when she was alive, the different topics that she spoke about in her poetry and her songwriting, they were very relevant. However, I do not believe they share all of the same characteristics as dancehall. So I do not believe that she's a dancehall artist. However, she was an inspiration to the movement.
Okay, fantastic. And we'll close with JC.
All right, so going off facts, as we do know, dancehall was kind of created in the 20th to 21st century or the 21st century, and Miss Louise was a part of the 21st century. And I feel like most little boys and girls growing up, being as young as we are, even everybody here, being as young as we are, everybody I'm sure have heard some pieces or some stories about Miss Louise. And I feel like her language, the way she speaks, the way she voiced her opinion to the world, and the way it was seen, I think it inspired those little boys and girls now who are creating or who were the creator of the dancehall movement to really find a way to express themselves. So I feel like there is a link, but the way now that dancehall is being projected, it's not exactly what Miss Louise would have wanted. It's not exactly what she would have wanted, yeah. She would mostly push for peace, push for freedom, and push for equality. And based off the music now, we're not seeing any of that. So the link is there, but I don't think that I don't think she has nothing to do with dancehall specifically.
Okay, wonderful. I must tell you, my heart full. My heart full. I am very proud of you, young people. You are wonderful thinkers. You think on your feet. You are clear. You produce ideas that are important, and you are good representatives of your generation. We're happy to have you. So here's what we're going to do as we move towards the end. We're going to have one more performance as we ask our colleague from Ardennes to set himself up for his presentation. Who's making the presentation? Come down, please. You can come and set yourself up. We have one performance. It's Stacy. Stacy was supposed to... Okay. You can set yourself up for the presentation. We're going to end with the presentation. But here's what I want us to do. I want everybody to stand up. We're talking today about using our voices, about understanding the power of our voices, about understanding not only the power of our voices as individuals, but as a group of Jamaican people. And I want to do an exercise with you that my father used to do with every event he used to speak at around the world. And it was an indicator of how we use our voices as individuals when things come together. Think of a note in your head. Just think of a note. Just a note. And I want, after 3, everybody to express that note. And I want you to hold it for 15 seconds. Right? All right? So we're going to be doing some singing. Just think of a note. After 3. 1, 2, 3. All right. The purpose of that exercise, thank you very much. The purpose of that exercise is to show that everybody starts with an individual note. But what happens at the end is that everybody ends pretty much on the same note. And that's what is important as we go forward. Each individual has a voice. Let's use it and use it together in order to make a difference for our lives as Jamaican people. Yeah? Thank you, young people. We're going to ask our student performance to our students from Ardennes who have prepared a presentation for us to close off this segment.
All right, you have to use the mic.
Not this one.
Well, I don't know if you'll be able to see it clearly because of the lighting that we need for the projection, but we'll do the best we can and they'll do the best they can. So in the meantime, while you're setting up, maybe you can introduce yourself so we don't have any dead time. Thank you.
All right, good morning, everyone. All right, so introducing myself once again. My name is Dr. Harry Doman. I am from the Ardennes High School. And today I will be doing a presentation on Dr. Louise Bennett-Coverley, her impact and her legacy. And I hope that the presentation will come up in short order. But in the meantime, whilst I wait, let's see. Okay. I want one person from the audience to come, tell me your favorite Miss Lou poem, an excerpt from that poem even, and what inspired you from that poem? What did you learn from that poem? Just one person, it can be more than one person while we're waiting on the presentation. Is there a hand?
All right, young man, come on up and I'll give you the mic, and then we have a young woman too, right? So are you coming? Did you have your hand up? Well, come on. It's your time to be on stage. And then you'll introduce yourself, and then we'll have this other young lady to do a presentation, although it looks like your thing is up, huh?
Oh, yes, it is.
Okay,
I'll still take him.
Okay, go ahead.
My favorite poem from Miss Louise, Roast Turkey.
And what did you learn from it? Or what excerpt can you give from it? Any line from the poem that stood out for you? Anything? No? All right, I guess he's a bit shy, guys. But thank you for coming up. Here's your incentive. One more, all right, just one more person, one more. And then we'll get into the presentation.
My name is Akilia Cousins, and my favorite poem is Uriah Preach.
Why do you like that poem?
All right, so I guess everybody a bit shy today, I like myself, so that's okay, it's all right. But here's your incentive as well. You're welcome. All right, so we're now going to begin our presentation. All right, so there was supposed to be an audio here, but it's not. So we'll just sing along. So everybody knows long time, girl, me never see you. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna sing along and get the vibes up. Ready? So after 2, 1, 2 is long time, girl, me never see you. Come let me hold your hand. It is a long time, girl, me never see you. Come let me hold your hand. Peter John Cross, sit down a treetop, pick up the black.
Me never see you. Come let me hold your hand. It is a long time that we never see you. Come let me hold your hand. We have jumped on, sit on a treetop, pick up the blossom. Let me hold your hand, girl. Let me hold your hand. All right, with some music, wait on there a little.
Alrighty, so the first thing I want to share with you is a quote from Dr. Louise Bennett-Coverley, and it says, "Me never call it patois, me call it Jamaican language, for that's what it is, a language."
It's a liberating thing, isn't it? The patois for you is not.
That is what it is. And in many of our artists today, we realize where the use of Jamaican Creole, the use of Jamaicans, as my linguistic professor friend over there called it, right? It's used in many of our songs today. So we're going to do our next activity. We'll build up a rhythm. Zine, we'll build up a rhythm. So, how it go now? I know a little girl named me Mexi. Murder she wrote, murder she wrote, murder she wrote, murder she wrote. All right, see. All right, big up to Andrews for completing the rest of the song. Right. So, we realize where Jamaican Creole is used in our everyday language, in our music, in our art forms, in our various art forms, our drama, or poetry, or the expressionism of us as a people, we realize where Creole is used. And now we'll go to a multimedia artifact where she spoke about the language.
It's not just words. For you, it's a language.
Definitely a language, my dear. For me, and it's something that I respect greatly.
So, the language for her, it was something that she respected. It was something that she wanted to be known by all Jamaicans, something that was used, not something that was stigmatized and say, well, the children won't be able to learn it, right? And as we go further on into the presentation, we'll see that more about her. So, a question to the audience I want to ask. Who knows a specific date as to when Miss Lou was born? Alright, you know what, because since considering everyone knows it, just shout it out, guys. So she was born on September 7, 1919, right? And died when?
And died at 2006.
Alright, so she died in 2006, July 6, 2006. Right. So, about Miss Lou, about her birth and early life. So we see where she was born September 7, 1919 in Kingston, Jamaica on North Street. And we know for a fact that her mother was a seamstress and her father was a baker, right? And for education, my lovely performer from St. Jago, she spoke about the fact that Miss Lou went to Ebenezer, right? And we also have information about the fact that she went to St. Simon's College, Excelsior College, and the Royal Academy of Dance Art, otherwise known as RADA. Dramatic Art, my apologies, right. So her formal training in theater equipped her essentially with the skills needed to express her cultural identity through performance, poetry, and education. Right? So many of her programs, when she had Ring Ding, when she did Laugh with Louise, many of her programs rather would have prepared her for that moment. We then talk about her career and legacy. Now, Miss Lou, as was stated earlier by Auntie here, she had a radio program with the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation. And we also know that she worked at the Jamaica Social Welfare Commission, as she was, and still is, if she was here, she would have still been an advocate for society because she's a social advocate, right? As well as the fact that she worked with the JBC, which is the Jamaica Broadcasting Corporation. So some programs that she had done in her time, as stated earlier, she did Laugh with Louise, and she did Ring Ding, right? So, Ring Ding now was a television show, right? It aired from the 1970s to the 80s, right? The 60s to the 80s, right? And it aimed at educating and entertaining children, right? And the show, in essence, it was unique in how it taught Jamaican folklore, how it taught proverbs, and how it taught music to a new generation. And this was always aired on the JBC, and it ensured that children who were, whether they wanted to be urban Jamaica or rural Jamaica, from the east, west, north, south, central Jamaica, they were able to tune in to Ring Ding and learn what Miss Lou wanted to express to us, the new generation, right? So we continue on. So now we talk about her impact. What exactly did Miss Lou delve into, right? So first of all, she was a cultural and linguistic advocate, right? One of Miss Lou's primary achievements was her relentless advocacy for the recognition of Jamaican Creole as a legitimate language. And in her documentary called Miss Lou Then and Now, right? We see where when she was speaking with the interviewer, from the first slide, we saw where she said, it is a language, it must be respected as such, and it is important that this information that we are being taught, we pass it on to our children or our grandchildren so that they can keep the legacy that she would have started, so that they can keep it alive and well in Jamaica. We then talk about the fact that she was an advocate for education and for national pride. Now, beyond her poems, Miss Lou serves as an educator on Jamaican culture, and which we looked at the fact where how she was on Ring Ding, she had exposed the children to the folk songs, the proverbs, the Anansi stories, thereby preserving oral traditions, right? So, there was a poem she did. One of the schools here mentioned it, Colonization in Reverse, right? Where she spoke about the fact that it captures a migration of Jamaicans to England in the 50s. Everybody know Windrush, right? Windrush, right? So remember when Windrush, when Jamaicans were traveling to England, because the grass looked green on the other side, and they did all of these developments, and what happened? They were not acknowledged for their development, right? And as such, she had suggested that Jamaicans were now colonizing the mother country, right? Because we did not appreciate what was in our own country. We did not have that national pride to embrace what we were at the time and what we could have even brought it to, right? So she was an advocate for education as well as an advocate for national pride. And then she had an influence on dub poetry and music. So even though Miss Lou didn't necessarily identify as a dub poet per se, her blend of the humor, the rhythm that she had, and the Creole in the performance laid the foundation for artists like what Auntie had said, Muta Baruka, Linton Kwesi Johnson, and Yasu Safari. As a matter of fact, I believe here in the presentation there's an excerpt where we delve into her dub poetry side with Dotty Tough. So now we'd head to another multimedia artifact. The audio.
People in Jamaica thought it was the wrong thing to do.
Not all the people.
No, but the people who were teaching it.
The educators. They thought, well, this person is going to corrupt the young. They will never be able to talk proper.
Continue now to the themes that she had explored.
How important is it for you? You talk about a people having a culture, an identity.
Very, very important. I feel that you must know from whence you came, you know, because there was this lack of respect. There was this thing of disparaging anything that was came out of the slavery days and that. There are some people who don't even like to hear the word slavery.
Righty, so now considering that we're pressed for time, I'm going to go to the themes that she had explored. Alright, so the theme she explored. So we talk about the class and social identity, and in Noliko Twang, Miss Lou critiques the desire to assimilate the British standards of politeness and proper English as a form of social mobility. And she used this satire to point out how colonization ingrained a deep cultural inferiority complex among many Jamaicans. We also talk about the fact that she had preserved Jamaican folklore, right? So through her works, Miss Lou preserved and reimagined traditional Jamaican folk tales, characters, and stories, and her storytelling emphasized the moral lessons embedded in the folklore. And she was particularly known as well for her use of Anansi stories, a cultural symbol of cleverness and resilience to both entertain as well as teach the younger generations. So I'm going to go back to the artifact that I had before.
Gasoline gone up and the dollar devalued.
Pot of wine. What things not right?
People not enough. River flood and rain a fall, but water scarce and dirty tough. Dirty tough. Dirty tough.
Guys, that have a little buzz to it. So although she never identified as a poet, we see so she did have the style, she did have the rhythm, right? And Dirty Tough, her poem, really showed what Jamaica was like back in those days. It showed the simpler Jamaica, I would like to call it. A Jamaica that, even though they had their problems with mackerel gone up and the pound had devaluated and everything, it showed a Jamaica that was more together than ever, right? It showed a Jamaica where we were our brothers and sisters keeper. It showed a Jamaica where we were loving as a society. And when I compare it with the Jamaica of now, I look back and I say, I wonder what Miss Lou would have said to it right now. I really do. Because to see where we have went from the 50s come up into the 21st century, it has really been a journey. And Miss Lou, I think Miss Lou would want to tell each and every one of us that we need to still be our brothers and sisters keeper. And I think that she would also say to us that, Anna every kin teeter laugh, you know? So, more while, you have to take bad thing, make jokes sometime too. But when a time for seriousness, when a time for get ready and unite together as one, it is time for us to unite. So the next part I'm going to go to is Jamaica Labrish and beyond. So Jamaica Labrish 1966 is one of Miss Lou's significant literary works where she elevated everyday Jamaican speech into art. And in this collection, she takes the colloquial labrish of the people, that's the chatter or the gossip of the people, and turns it into satirical, often satirical commentary on society. So I want to show you just one last artifact on what she did with the labrish when she was writing her first poem. Another one.
A lot of the poems you talk about poverty. You talk about not having enough.
Yeah, you see? And the first one I wrote was on the tram car. We call it country tram, but it's market people taking the food down to feed the town. And they were relegated to the last 4 benches because, you know, there are baskets and bags and things, so they don't mind that. But they never liked to see anybody who could sit up front coming to sit there. I was not quite 14. I just decided to go in the back benches. When I walked in, one woman said to the other one, "Spread out yourself." And she just took her apron, you know, "Spread out yourself, one dress woman I come." You know? I said, my gosh, see, this is the language I should be writing in. I wrote the first set of verses. "Spread out yourself, Eliza. One dress woman I look like, said, she see the list size away and want to poke herself in there. Spread out, girl, should I come? No man has space in your time. We make your fools, Eliza. Spread out yourself now, girl, you know." And anyhow, I went to school and tried it out with my school friends, and they said, "Louise, man, write another one. It's so..."
So we saw here where Miss Lou took the lives of the people, what she had experienced, and weaved that into her expressionism, into her cultural works, into her poems. So the last thing I want to leave with you in conclusion, really, is this. Miss Lou has transformed how we as Jamaicans view ourselves. She has changed how we view our language, and she left behind a cultural legacy that forever elevated Jamaican Creole from just a spoken dialect to a language, and embraced it in her literature, in theater, and in her academic works. And through her work, Miss Lou showed that our everyday speech, in essence, carries the depth of our history, the richness of our culture, and the spirit of our people. And her legacy challenges us, the collective us, as Gen Z, as Gen Alpha, and the Gen Beta, we're coming further on, and the rest of generations after that. It challenges us to celebrate what she has done, but also to build upon the culture that she has brought up. And it is our duty as citizens of this great country. And I I focus on how I use the word great. This great country, because I know many of us don't think it's a great country, but it is. And it is our duty to preserve, to promote, and to respect the Jamaican culture, and to ensure that our language, our stories, and our traditions continue to thrive. And I firmly believe that we must carry forward Miss Lou's work by continuing to study her contributions to society and expanding on them so that her voice and the voice of Jamaicans remains powerful for generations to come. So let us take up that mantle, ensuring that her impact is not just remembered, but lived by each and every one of us.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. On a clap on yourself. I want to just, give them a hand. Really wonderful, wonderful stuff. And I want to do this. So this is called 100 Voices for Miss Lou. And I worked with the ministry to do the centennial for Miss Lou, and as a result of that, I decided to put an anthology together of 100 voices. It says 100 plus voices because I got so many work. It came out to be about 110 voices. And it's a collection of poetry, tributes, interviews, and essays by Jamaican worldwide, scholars, poets, people who knew her, people who worked with her in the pantomime. And I want to gift this copy to you and for the awesome presentation that you and your fellow student has done. So this is 100 Voices for Miss Lou. It's published by the University of the West Indies Press, so it's available. Awesome. Me glad bag boss. Me glad bag boss. It is truly, truly wonderful that you have all come together and you've all shared so fulsomely about Miss Lou and her voice present and her voice going on to the future, and that you will take that voice and you will add to it. You will recalibrate it. You will put in your own little stamp and give all of the nuances that is needed. And that you are our future, and our future looks good. You look very good. Clap yourself again. So, although most of you are sitting in your school rows, lunch is here. We're providing lunch for you. But I am going to send you out row by row. So we're going to go with the first row. Sit down. Here is something I want you to do. I don't know if you know each other. You should know each other. So I want to make sure that from the different schools you go and introduce yourself to two other persons from the different schools. I know the boys and the girls might like that because, but anyway, I want you to make sure that you introduce yourself to someone else from another school. The first row needs to go now for lunch. The first row needs to go now for lunch. And so get up, mingle, sing a song, whatever song you want to sing, this Long Time Gal or any other song. And now the second row, come on, first row, go quickly, please. And continue the good work. I want to thank some people. I think Dr. Icklin is here to thank some people. I certainly want to thank the Ministry of Education and Youth for their support and various other sponsors. Of course, I want to thank the University of the West Indies. I want to thank ICS and Departments of Literature and Language. And Dr. Icklin will offer some thanks to some of our other sponsors. Thank you very, very much. Second row, go.
Will the primary school students go first? All the primary school students, can you go first, please? Now, I have one last thing to say.
for Jamaica. Yeah.
Yo, what are you? Oh man, none of that. No, brother. No.